Dracarys.
What's up, Headless Horde? Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and we have Ahsoka episode 6. Let's go. What's up, Umpty? What's up, Blaze? Listen, Blaze, you don't have to get all mad and then start the stream on time. Actually, I started right on time, actually. Just because you lost some fantasy football to me, it's okay. It's going to be okay, Blaze. It's going to be okay. Unlike Nick Chubb's knee. That is not going to be okay. Dude, that was depressing, dude. I don't know if you guys saw that injury. Absolutely brutal, man. It sucks, dude. He's such a good player, such a good teammate, and just dude, anyone else, But he'll be back, hopefully. It was brutal though, man. His leg looked like it was rubber. Craziness. But we're not here to talk about the Cleveland Browns and how they blew it. We're here to talk about Ahsoka episode 6, and this is going to be good. This is going to be good. From what I'm hearing, again, slight spoilers, taken with a grain of salt, like always. I've hit a couple things here, but so what I'm hearing is some interesting things. I don't know what you guys in the chat want to see tonight. What do you guys want to see? Let me know what you want to see. Sith Lord Jar Jar. Listen, man, I'm all aboard. I love that theory. I love it. But I don't think we're seeing Jar Jar tonight. But we might see somebody blue. We might see somebody blue. So what I'm hearing is we might get a little bit of Milky. Milky's he's not blue. He's red, maybe. Milky doesn't have an internet. So Milky will not be with me for probably a couple weeks here until the beginning of October. I don't know what's going on with his internet. But that is okay because I'm here and we're going to talk about Thrawn. So what I'm hearing is that we might get some Ezra and Thrawn tonight, and it might be mostly about them too. Now it's interesting because are we going to pull the old Boba Fett episode where we get Mandalorian and we don't even get Boba? Are we going to pull that kind of stuff? I don't know. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing it might be an Ezra and Thrawn central episode. It doesn't mean we won't get any kind of Ahsoka. And, remember, Huang went with her. So we might get a little bit in the beginning. And then this is what I'm hearing. We might get Ezra and Thrawn. And I'm loving it, dude. I dropped the video. What is that? Saturday? No, gosh, I don't even know what day it is, man. Yesterday. Dropped it yesterday on what I think that Ezra and Thrawn have been doing for basically, we're talking like 12 years, 8 years, 10 years, right in that time frame. They disappeared about 6 months to a year before A New Hope. And so that's 4.5 to 5 years until the end of Return of the Jedi. And then we have 5 years until we get to Mando. And then again, this is supposed to be taking place basically at the same time as Mando Season 3, which is 12 years after the Battle of Yavin. So, what have they been doing for like I said, it's about 12 years. So I dropped the video on that yesterday. So if you guys haven't checked it out, check it out. We'll talk a little bit about that today. We're going to talk a little bit also about, is it the blue guy Sonic? No, Sonic has hair and he's a hedgehog. You think we're going to flash back? Dude, I really hope so. It will be awesome. I'll be honest with you. So this episode is 40, I think it was 46 minutes before credits. So it's about the same length as last week's. So what I'm really hoping here is I hope we almost kind of get a montage of what in the world they've been doing, because I don't know how you can just go right into Ahsoka getting into this new world. And, I'm still trying to figure out I know the Purgle took her there, right? But are you telling me they're only traveling to one other galaxy and that's it? The way I look at this is there's a galaxy that we know. There's the Star Wars galaxy. And there's another galaxy up here. There's another galaxy up here. Another one down here. So, do they not travel all of them, or is it just basically, one line of traffic? So it's interesting. Like, I don't know how they're going to explain it. They may not explain it at all. But I would absolutely love some type of montage, like kind of like right after Rebels. What have they been doing? And then, like, are they like? I mean, in my video, I even said, I'm like, I have to believe that they probably hung together for at least a little bit, and then maybe eventually split off with different species or something. If we do end up going back to the unknown regions, and remember that is where Thrawn is from. Maybe he kind of went back with his group, the Chiss. Maybe Ezra was with them. Maybe he was captured for a while. Maybe Thrawn ended up capturing him, which I would find weird because, Thrawn has no real power. His power is his mind, where Ezra has the Force. So in my opinion, it's not even really a battle. If you have a Force user against someone who's just good at hand-to-hand combat, I don't know how there's really a big challenge here for Ezra. And again, going back like several of these lives, I did have mentioned, like, I thought maybe that the new galaxy, maybe the Force is not something there. And I think that would be a really interesting thing to see. And also be interesting because remember, Sabine is with Balon and Shin and Morgan. Maybe she just develops some type of power in this new galaxy, and then maybe Sabine is the one who kind of helps Ahsoka, because if Ezra doesn't have the Force, then Ahsoka won't have it either. Makes sense that they would show their backstory at the end of the episode. I would think it would be Ahsoka showing up. Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's how it's going to work. Maybe we're going to get the little backstory first, and then maybe the last 10 minutes of the episode, we have Ahsoka. I mean, again, I have to believe they're going to have to see something with her figuring out where to go to find these guys. Like, she's not going to just, stop in hyperspace and then all of a sudden just show up and like, boom, oh, hey, Ezra, how you doing? So Blaze, how far did you get? Because I know you were watching it. I was wondering if you got caught up. What's up, Kenneth Bird? How you doing, brother? Yeah, let me know how far you are right now in this, because I'll be curious to see. Because I mean, you should better get caught up though by tomorrow maybe. I don't know how many episodes. So 3. So you'll be 3 behind. Episode 4. I'm trying to think. Episode 3 was a short one. Episode 4 and 5, dude. Like, I don't know how you feel about this right now, but if you're liking it, episode 4 and 5 is better than episodes 1, 2, and 3. Let's just put it that way. So if you're borderline, you'll like what's coming up. So yeah, we're gonna finish this weekend, so you'll be caught up for next week for the last 2. So, but yeah, I'm really curious to see what they're gonna do. I really hope we do get a small type of montage, like Umpty's saying in the chat there. The other thing I'm hearing, so again, Thrawn doesn't have any powers. It's his mind, it's his intellect, it's his ability to strategize and plan for these attacks and wars. And just one quick thing that you need to know about the Chiss. So the Chiss, they're not really they're not aggressive people. They're not the kind of species that are going to go and attack people. They're not going to go make waves. The reason why Thrawn ended up hooking up into the Empire with Palpatine and all that is basically to help protect his people. That's what Thrawn is all about. Doing what he has to do to protect his clan or his species or his people, however you want to state it. And again, in Legends, there was a group that always wanted to attack them and kind of take them over. And that's kind of like, we don't, again, that's Legends. It's not really what happened in the books. I mean, there's some of this in the books, but that's not the big premise. I guess maybe in Heir of the Empire, in the original trilogy, that definitely comes into play. But basically, he like I said, he kind of came into Thrawn came into the Empire to kind of get support, to get help for his people, and then he's basically like, well, listen, if I know I got the Empire backing, then maybe people aren't going to mess with my planet. So again, that's what his thinking was. And then once he joined the Empire, he when we saw this in Rebels, he started developing this TIE fighter bomber like program. And his big thing was he thought these TIE fighter bombers were just more agile. They're cheaper to make instead of these huge Star Destroyers where there was no maneuverability. You just had a huge ship with some basic weapons, basically. Because I mean, if you ever see a Star Destroyer fight, they're not like super like offensive, really. They're just a huge armored ship. And so with the TIE fighter bombers, he thought he could make them more powerful. So that was like his big plan in Rebels, was to develop these for the Empire. And that was kind of his strategic part of this. If you think back to, I think it was the Battle of Lothal, which was the end of season 3 of Rebels. They're fighting the rebels on Lothal from the sky. And, you see that they have these huge, giant laser cannons, and they're just kind of firing. And they're not even hitting the base. Like, they do take down the shield eventually, but then what does Thrawn do? He's like, oh, we're not going to just fire on them. We're going to just go down there. Because that was all strategy for him, to kind of just make sure they wipe them all out. It is weird. Like, why would you not just shoot the laser beams down at them? But Dr. Phil, he actually will be here later. He'll be here later. Yeah, so he would definitely be here. What's up, Charles? How you doing, brother? So yeah, I mean, as far as other rumors or spoilers, I have not heard a ton for this episode. I do know one little spoiler, and again, mute for about 10 seconds if you don't want to hear it. I don't know how much I want to talk about this. But there is one little spoiler here about Kanan Jarrus. So the rumor is, I don't know if it's this episode, it could be a later episode, but we may get a little Force Ghost action of Kanan. And I think he'll be talking to actually his son, Jason. So I don't know. That's just one little thing that's going on the interwebs right now. People are kind of talking about that. And I think it'd be pretty cool. I mean, I hope like Freddie Prinze Jr. would come back to do it, but he has voiced his opinion so many times on Star Wars, saying that he's kind of done with it. He kind of played his part. He doesn't see any other reason to come back. So I don't know. Well, we'll see how true that is. We only have 3 weeks left of this. So I don't know. I'm going to put a quick poll. Let's do a quick poll. I'm curious to see what you guys think of this episode coming up. And I want to see, what are you most looking forward to in episode 6? What are you most looking forward to in episode 6? All right, so we're going to do Thrawn. I'm going to put Ezra. We're going to put, see where Ahsoka went. And we're going to have 4 options. The last option is going to be the return of Balon and Shin. I do love those characters. So take a quick moment to vote so I can see what you guys are thinking. There is a character in Star Wars named Jason. It is, but it's spelled Jacen. So in Rebels, Hera and Kanan Jarrus, they ended up having a son. So in the very last episode of Rebels, you see him, and actually, I'm trying to think. You're in episode 3. I thought it was episode 3. He was in it briefly. Maybe it's episode. No, it has to be episode 3. So you did see him after Hera is talking to the leaders of the Republic. When she leaves that room, Yeah, she leaves the room. You see him briefly with Chopper, the little boy with the green hair. So that is her son, Jason. Jacen, and he is force sensitive, which you'll find out in episode, I think it's 5. So yeah, you left off. I'm trying to think. So Blaze, you left off when they were. Oh, you're just starting 3. Oh, so you only. Oh, my bad, dude. Sorry, I thought we were through 3. So you only watched the first 2. I gotcha. Well, you'll see him in the beginning of episode 3. Okay, sorry about that. I didn't mean to throw that spoiler out at you, but that's who that little kid is when you see him. It's Hera's son, and again, it's Hera and Kanan from Rebels who had the son. So there are 2 characters named Jason. That's where the name came from, Jason Solo. That is correct. That is from Heir of the Empire trilogy. Han and Leia had twins. It was Jaya. I think it's spelled Jaia. And then and that was the female, that was the daughter, and then Jason was the son. And in Legends, and this isn't gonna, this is completely different because it's not even Han and Leia's kids. But in Legends, Jason turns to the dark side in all that. So it's pretty interesting. And if I remember correctly, Jason kills Mara Jade, who would have been Luke Skywalker's wife. Again, this is all Legends. This is not canon right now. But that's kind of where that, yeah. And on the Gumpy said, it's kind of where that character's name comes from. Was from that. So that's cool that they ended up, at least pulling the name, even though it has nothing to do with the characters in Legends. But it was kind of cool that Dave Filoni ended up taking that and using that name. So, but yeah, that's kind of the story of that. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, as far as this episode, I'm excited. I'm glad it's going to be a long one again. And, I really hope we get Thrawn. We kind of been waiting, and last episode we got Anakin, which was awesome. Now I just want the storyline to move forward because I do feel like at this point the storyline is a little bit. I don't want to say it's vanilla, but it kind of is. When you really think about what we've watched for 5 episodes, it's basically an introduction to these new characters that people who didn't watch Rebels have seen. So they had to introduce them somehow. And I think they did an okay job. I still think they've spent a little too much time on Sabine. And I a little bit, it's just too much, just a little too much. But, Balin and Shin, we kind of see where they're headed. I'm still interested to see if we're going to end up seeing, are they is there a relationship there? Is it father-daughter? Is it like where did Shin come from? Balin, we kind of know was a Jedi, and then he left after Order 66, and basically, basically did what to survive is what I get out of this character. And you can still see like he's a little iffy on what he does, and when Morgan's talking, dude, he's always like, I feel like he might go against her at some point. I don't know. But if Shin is his daughter, it's really going to make an interesting dynamic because I still kind of hold true with what I said, like in the very first breakdown of all this, as I think that Shin's going to end up killing Balin for some reason. Again, we know, rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. We know that he's not going to be in season 2 or in any movie or anything like that. So I feel like his character is going to have to perish in some way. I just hope that it's not off screen, I mean, they can always deep fake it, I guess, if they want, if he's not going to be dead at the end of this season. But I mean, someone's going to have to die, right? I mean, it just, something's going to have to happen with those 3. I know Merrick died, and I was a little disappointed in that character overall. It was a cool looking character. They made a bunch of toys to sell, and he's not even in it anymore. So it's a little disappointing that wasn't a bigger part. But again, it's just a character to die halfway through the season is how they did it. And again, Anthony, I apologize for the spoilers. But let's check out the poll really quick. Let's see what you guys are thinking. So it looks like half the people on Thrawn. I know, I agree. Like I think that's at this point. I just feel like that's where we're headed. We have to get there. Like I said, we introduced the characters. We have basically got Ahsoka back to the so she's chosen to. I'm assuming she's chosen to become a Jedi again, which is what we see in the last episode. And we kind of got the little cool shots with Anakin and the Clone War recaps and all that kind of stuff. And I just feel like at this point, like again, the story is a little vanilla for me. I just want more story now. Like I just feel like it's been just, I don't know. That's really the only negative thing I can say. And I think it is because episode 1 and 2 were definitely together. And I think that episode 3, 4, and 5 was another arc right there. Because basically, Hera, again, Anthony, quick spoilers for episodes 3, 4, and 5. But basically we got Hera saying, okay, I'm not going to listen to orders. I'm going to go help them as they travel to the world to, try to stop them using the map or at least gain access to the map. And then basically, I mean, that's 3 is just the space battle for the most part. And then 4 and 5, it's basically trying to get Ahsoka back to Ahsoka the White or whatever we're calling her. And yeah. Could Kanan Jarrus be Shin's father? I don't think so. I mean, he dies pretty early on, and we see Jason born like in the the finale of Rebels, and he died like what 4 or 5 episodes before the finale. So I don't think so. I mean, it's always a possibility, of course, but I don't know how that would work. Plus, Shin, if we say Shin is, I think me and Ryan had said that maybe we thought Shin was around like early 20s, no more than like 26. And let's see, Kanan. Yeah, I don't think so, because if you use the timeline, I mean, unless Kanan had a kid like when he was like 16, because I always thought Kanan was probably around 30 years old when he died, and he died, like I said, about 12 years from where we are right now in the Ahsoka timeline. So that would make Shin only like 12 to 15. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's see what he says here. Empty. I saw so much Mando in this, as far as it's just a task they have to do. Yeah. They need to move the storyline forward. It really is disappointing a little bit to me that it's only 8 episodes. I feel like you could have done 10 episodes easily, or like I said, or combined episodes 1 and 2, make it like a 55 minute episode, combine them. Because again, I just think that those 2 episodes were just setting up the main characters. That's all they were doing. It was just like a recap of Rebels. It really was, for people who didn't know them. And then episodes 3, 4, and 5, you easily could have made that 2 episodes. Like you could have done 3 and 4 together. 3 was so short. What was 3? Like 31 minutes or something? It was super short. You could have done 3. You could have done 3 and 4 together easily. And then last week could have been a standalone. So we could be talking about episode 4 right now. That's 2 whole episodes that we could have got more of the actual story. And we know she's trying to find Thrawn and Ezra, but the real question is okay, if we understand why she wants to find Ezra because they're friends, why would you want to find Thrawn? Because you've heard rumors of him coming back. Okay, that's fine. But like, if he's not back, what can he possibly be doing? And I know in Mando season 3, we do see that clip with Moff Gideon. I think it was the second last episode that they're kind of, I think they hint on they are actually communicating with Thrawn, which is odd too, because I mean, it's a totally different galaxy. I don't know how I felt about that back then, because I'm like, well, Thrawn's not back, so how are they communicating over galaxies now? When we've seen stuff in Star Wars where like there's a blaster door or something, and you can't really communicate. I don't know. It's a little strange to travel, or not travel, but communicate between galaxies. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, again, if they explain it, and sure, I'm good with it. But I'm gonna check the poll one more time. So we still got mostly people looking for Thrawn. Yeah, I think Thrawn's gonna be great. Again, I hope we get enough Ezra too to make sense of this, because Ezra is a great character and he's definitely a fan favorite. I always thought it was because they knew if they find Thrawn. Yeah, I mean, I think that has a lot to do with it. I mean, you would assume they were together. Yeah, and no, that makes sense. I agree. But I'm just I'm really I'm what I'm really one of the most curious things I'm really curious about, like, how are they going to explain the Purgle? Like I said earlier, is it just like one pathway? Is it like boom, we go that way and then we come back? Like, or do they actually travel to different galaxies? Because I mean, it's a little convenient if they just go to one. You know, I mean, it's not like they followed. It's not like they followed. When they went in that. What is the name of that circle ship? The Eye of something they call it. But it's not like they follow them. We're talking about the whole episode later. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We have about an hour or so. As far as rumors and stuff, that's really all I've heard. I have not heard much of this episode at all, which is good. That way it's less spoilers, and like I said, 46 minutes. Pumped for that, and yeah, I don't know. That's pretty much all I got, unless you guys have any questions. Like I said, I know Ryan couldn't make it today. He's having Wi-Fi issues again, so hopefully he'll be back next week, because I don't think he'll be here tomorrow either for the breakdown. So you guys will just get me again, but we'll have a lot to break down and talk about. So I don't think they will get that deep, because they just got to them. Yeah, I just hope, like I said, I just hope they don't find them in 10 minutes. I hope I hope, again, I want it to make sense though too. I don't want it to be just just them flying around and going and checking at like the local cantina and be like, oh, have you seen some dude with blue hair? Oh, and he might be hanging out with a guy with a blue face, by the way. Like, I'm curious to see how they're gonna do this. I don't want it to be cheesy. I don't want it to be like, think of Attack of the Clones. When they're trying to figure out who shot the poison dart I'm sorry, not the poison dart. When oh my gosh, what's her name? Zam Weasel, when she was trying to poison Padme with those worm scorpion things, wherever they were, and then they basically go on a chase with her, and then she ducks out of town, and then she gets killed with the poison dart. And then Obi-Wan and Anakin are like going around town and trying to figure out where this poison dart came from. I don't want it to be like that. It's too drawn out. Like, I want something better. Yeah, I agree. I would love for this episode maybe to open up either with a little Ahsoka, or even better, just open up with like the end of Rebels in live action. They kind of redo it. You see him blast off, and then we get like a good 30-35 minutes of just a little montage of what's been going on, what happened between the two of them. And it's really just going to be Ezra and Thrawn central. And then maybe at the end, we see if Ahsoka kind of zoom in on hers, and maybe, then we go and kind of go for the last two episodes. I really, really hope that's what they do. That's what I'm hoping for. So I agree with you. But all right, well, I don't know. There's no more questions. That's about all I have to talk about. I just want to get going and watch this thing, So, all right, well, hit the like on the way out here, guys. I'll be live tomorrow again at 9 p.m. We'll break down the entire episode. So I want you guys, make sure you guys enjoy it. If you're not subbed and you're watching this on the replay, please consider subscribing. 21 people away from 1K. Memberships are open as well. Channel memberships, $2.99 a month. We actually, oh yes, let me mention this, please. Thursday, I think we're gonna do it. I haven't the time because originally it was going to be the Patreon hangout. We were going to do it at 9 p.m. after the review. Actually, I think it was going to be 10 p.m. So I wanted to make it earlier. So if you're a patron, I'm going to post that actually right when I'm out of here today. I'm going to post what time works best. We're going to kind of hang out. I figure we can place maybe some Jackbox TV. Hopefully everyone can show up. And it'll be we'll just kind of hang out for like an hour, just kind of hang out. I do have a giveaway I'll be doing for Patreons. And also don't forget too, 1K giveaway. If you're a Patreon before I hit 1K, I'm not even going to show you. I have a very, very special giveaway for Patreon and channel members only. So if you're a channel member or Patreon, before I hit 1K, there's something really special that I'm going to be giving away for everyone who supports the channel. So I appreciate everyone, whether or not you like the videos, watch the videos, comment, hang out in the lives and just don't chat. I appreciate it, guys. All right. Enjoy the episode. I'll probably be posting a poll earlier or right after the episode today to see what you guys think. Anthony, don't you forget to catch up on it. So next week, you know what we're talking about. All right, brother. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I appreciate you guys hanging out for a little bit. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Keep those heads on. And like always, I'll see you guys in the next video.